Hey y'all, so today I want to start pulling the 4.8 out of my cat eye. This is it. It needs to get on out. It needs to make room for a 402 that is going to be put in it. The truck will be turboed. Hopefully it's going to have a little side exit about right here. And it is getting Holly wiring harness put in it as well. But this massive 4.8 is gonna have to get out of the way to do that. This is a 4-wheel drive truck, so it is pretty nasty. It was lifted at one point in time. But once I get the motor out of it, it's gonna clean up just fine. So, let's get to work. All right, y'all, so I wanted to talk about it before I got too far ahead. I did pull the cables off of the battery right here. The belts that was on this truck was not in the best condition. I do not plan on using them for the new motor, so I just cut those off. Obviously, I removed the intake off of it. Pulled the alternator, two 15mm bolts right here. Take your pry bar. Just pop it up. It'll come out pretty easy. I do have the upper and lower radiator hoses pulled off of it. My truck did come with electric fan, so I didn't have to fight with a clutch fan. But if yours does come with a clutch fan, just remove the upper and lower shroud. Pull your clutch fan off right here. You may have to get you a tool from O'Reilly's or AutoZone to get that off of there. I have most of the connectors to the coils, injectors, everything like that. Solenoid pretty much pulled. My heater core lines are off of it. So my next step will be pulling off this bracket, which is 3 more 15mm bolts. Discharging the AC on it so I can get that out the way. Pulling the fuel rails, the intake, and then I guess I'll start messing with the exhaust to get that out the way. Alright y'all, so I did get the truck lifted up. Got some jack stands under it right there. I got the exhaust pretty much took off of it. As long as I've owned the truck, the exhaust has been welded out all the way to the back. So unfortunately, you can imagine after I finally got the O2 sensors out of it, I had to cut it up. Got a little sketchy for a minute there, and I'm gonna show y'all exactly why. So I finally got all the bolts out of the collector right here. And of course, the previous owner that owned this before had a different size bolt for every one of these on both sides. But this is what got a little sketchy. I had to cut the exhaust right here, and it was right next to this carbon fiber drive shaft. So it was having me sweat a little bit, but we got it out. right, y'all, so we got the long tube headers out of it. It came out pretty easy. Took them out the bottom right here. I did remove the spark plugs out of them right here just to make sure I didn't break nothing or get hung up on anything. But honestly, you can pull them out. You can pull the headers out without having to remove the plugs. I just wanted to prevent anything from breaking off or getting caught whenever I was taking them out. So jacked the truck up a little bit higher and they came right out the bottom. Pretty easy. We're getting pretty close to pulling the motor. I got the headers out. Got the motor mounts loosened up, which was a 15mm. The accessory bracket is took off of it. The power steering pump is disconnected from the steering gear box right here. I do have my lines plugged up. The HVAC is disconnected. I will be wrapping this with a glove and some electrical tape because I plan on pressure washing this truck pretty good, getting all the tore up insulation out of it before it gets the new wiring harness and the new motor, because I don't plan on the engine bay ever looking like this again. But one step closer. Got to go down there and take these flywheel torque converter bolts out, and we'll be moving on to pulling it out. All right, y'all. So it's been a couple of days since I've been to the shop. I just made my way back over here. Took the bolts out that connect the flywheel and the torque converter together and the bell housing bolts. I do have one bolt left that is all the way at the top of the bell housing, but I'm gonna get that from up top. I'm gonna get it from behind the engine, much easier to get to. And I do have the motor mounts loosened up. I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go into here and show y'all which bolts I'm talking about. So when you're going to take the bolts out that mate the torque converter with the flywheel, once you get the starter pulled out of the way right here, you will spin the engine to where the bolt holes will line up where the starter goes. And this will make it to where you'll be able to break the bolts loose, but you will have to spin every one to that exact spot so you can pull it out. And I would highly recommend, once you get those bolts out, whatever wrench you are using, just stick it in between there, push the converter back a little bit, give it a little space, so when you start pulling the engine out, they're not still touching each other and nothing binds up. But I would highly recommend that. Your bell housing bolts, there's a couple of them on this side, one up top where it holds the dipstick, if I can get a good angle. See it up there. There's a couple on the other side as well, but I'm gonna go up top and start pulling that top one out. All right, it's out. It was a little tight between the water pump on this front brace and then the flywheel on the cow panel. But if you take your time, it'll squeeze through there. And I got the motor pulled without beating the radiator up. Thank Jesus. I do have some motor mounts for sale if anybody wants to buy them. I'm gonna show y'all those in a second. Somebody wants to bring me a crisp 20, I'll let you have them. Probably got at least another 100,000 miles on them. So these was the motor mounts I was talking about. Oh yeah, this one's real good. I think this one's the better of the two. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that one will last another 100,000 easy. If anybody wants them, I'm giving them away for real cheap. Just comment and let me know.